coaster enthusiasts. Hope you all are having a great day. It's your boy Coaster Jedi back with another video. This is this week's video to make up for the week that I missed previously, so that I'll still have 2 videos coming out in 2 weeks. So today I'll be ranking the coasters of Busch Gardens Williamsburg by their first drop. So this isn't necessarily my order of my ranking of the coasters there by my favorite, it's by how much I like the drop individually. So if you want to see my Busch Gardens coasters ranked video, go check that out. That's also on my channel. So without further ado, let's get started. So coming in last place naturally is the kiddie coaster Grover's Alpine Express. For a kiddie coaster, this has a pretty solid drop, but it's really nothing special, doesn't have any forces or anything, and that's okay. It's not designed for that. For a kid though, this is a really good way to get them into roller coasters. It's a lot better than some of those other smaller kiddie coasters out there. And number 7 is Tempesto. So Tempesto's not focused on a drop. It doesn't really have a first drop. What I consider the drop is that part after the inline twist when it's at the peak of the ride and it goes into the non-inverting loop, which means that it comes toward the end of the ride. This is a very forceful and fun drop, but it doesn't drop all the way. It kind of goes down and twists into that non-inverting loop. So you really don't get much out of this drop besides intensity. It's still really fun though. It's definitely an enjoyable part of the ride, but it's just this ride isn't focused on the drop, and as a result, the drop is not as high on the list. Next up we have Invader, the only wooden coaster in the park, and this drop is very fun. It goes through sort of a tunnel to decrease the noise for the surrounding area, but it has solid airtime. You really do get thrown out of your seat, especially if you're in the back, and it has a great hand chopper element. If you have your hands up, there's a piece of metal there, a metal bar that feels like it's going to take your hands right off, which is really cool. I think that's a fun part of this ride. And of course, this is the best part of the ride by far. It is the most enjoyable and interesting part. So Invader's got a solid drop overall. Number 5 is Verbolten, and this drop I'd say is similar in quality to Invader. It's a nice drop out by the river. It also comes toward the later part of the ride. It's very fun, very enjoyable. You get a little bit of airtime, and really what makes this drop though is the setting. How you drop right next to the river, feels like you're going to fall out into it, and it also follows the path of Big Bad Wolf, the coaster that it replaced. So that's kind of cool to see. So it's a very nice, enjoyable drop, but it's certainly not the best part of the ride. Now we've reached the top half, and this is where the drops really start to get good. This is starting with number 4, we have Loch Ness Monster, and this is a drop that I feel like gets really underrated by a lot of enthusiasts, and I don't really hear a lot of people talking about the drop of Loch Ness Monster, and this is a fantastic first drop. If you're in the back row, you absolutely soar out of your seat. Even with those bulky Aero shoulder restraints, it is an awesome drop for airtime as you just go flying. You got to be in the back though, it's not as memorable in the front, but you just get pulled over that drop and you fly. It also has a great location over the river. This is probably the best location for the first drop of all of the Busch Gardens coasters. It's just amazing. It's incredible to just be flying down that first drop with air time and feel like you're going to fly into the river. So Loch Ness Monster, you have a good drop. Keep it up. Number 3, we have Apollo's Chariot, and this may be a little bit controversial. Most of you know I'm a big fan of Apollo's Chariot. I praised it a lot in my Busch Gardens video, but I don't think that the drop is as good as some of the other coasters at this park. So really, in the front, the drop really isn't anything special. You don't get a lot of airtime, you don't get a lot of force or speed or anything. In the back though, this drop really shines. You get some great airtime as you fly down it. It also works very well with the terrain, which is really nice to see that. I think it's really cool. So even though this drop isn't great in the front, if it had been in the back like it is in the front, this would be higher on the list. But because it's not as consistent as some of the other drops, then I'm putting it in 3rd place. Still an awesome drop though. You can't go wrong with the B&M Hyper drop. Alright, at number 2 we have Alpengeist, and this is one fantastic inverted drop. So to me, my favorite part about this ride and this drop is when you're on the back left side, this drop absolutely tears down the track. It is just insane. You get whipped so hard because you're rotating a full 270 degrees as you go down. It's crazy. This is one part I did not remember from the last time I rode Alpengeist, just how good that first drop is. And I cannot say enough good things about this drop. Plus, it has an amazing setting. You're flying over buildings and trees. It's just really awesome. It gives you such a great feeling of flying and being whipped around. It's awesome. It's just a fantastic drop. It's probably my favorite inverted coaster drop of any of them that I've ridden. And what could be number one but the coaster that was built to deliver a fantastic drop, Griffon, the dive coaster. And what an awesome drop this is. First of all, like all dive coasters, there's a holding brake at the top that builds the suspense. It holds you there hanging over the drop for a full 5 seconds. And this sensation is incredible. You get a great view of the area, and it really builds up what's about to come. And you get some fantastic airtime as you go down. The front may be the best place for the view, but the back sends you absolutely flying down this drop. It's just amazing. And with the restraints and not the stupid vest restraints, you get some great airtime as you go down. It also dives straight under a bridge. It goes under the bridge that you have to walk over to get to the ride. So I think that that's pretty cool, and you can see the people down there staring at you. This is so much fun. Such a good drop, and I'm really sad that this was closed on my last trip. But thankfully it's back up and running now. So if any of you were wondering about that, it is up and running. So yes, Griffon, fantastic drop, and my favorite dive coaster that I've currently ridden, and thus it makes the best first drop in all of Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to comment your ranking of what you think are the best first drops at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And go check out my Instagram at Coaster Jedi. I put up a poll for deciding what is the better video for this coming Friday, whether you want it to be my bucket list coasters or ways to overcome your fear of roller coasters. So thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. Have a good day.